Yeah, what's going on, guys? Seth Spartan here. Guys, listen up. We got a big, important, boom, video for you guys today. So, I'm Seth Spartan, nutrition, training, hormone expert for Prometheus HRT, Hormone Replacement Clinic. So, this video today, guys, we're going to be talking about what? Are anabolic steroids worth it? And here's the answer. It depends. Now, listen to everything I'm about to tell you because I am not advocating for anabolic steroids. I advocate against it. I do not recommend it. That's my personal opinion. However, guys, I'm making this video for all the people watching around the world. You go to Britain, the UK, other countries. Steroids are legal. You can walk in, you can get them. You can get anabolic steroids anywhere. In a lot of countries, you go to Costa Rica, you can walk into the pharmacy and walk out with testosterone and HGH. So depending on what country you live in, a lot of countries you can just get them from anywhere. It's completely legal. Other ones you can get them right from the pharmacy. If you live in the US like me, you can get anabolic steroids through different clinics with part of an HRT regimen, this and that. Obviously, Prometheus HRT, this is more for they're not going to give you abusive amounts, but this is for more geared toward health and other specific issues. Okay, having said all of that, let's answer you guys this question. Are anabolic steroids worth it? This is going to be, guys, completely unbiased, uncensored, from an expert point of view, and I'm not going to hold back any punches here, so let's get into this. This is a long-awaited video for some of you guys. So let's get into the yes right away, okay? So, yes. Why? And don't worry, I'm going to cover the no's. And again, I already gave you my personal opinion, but I'm going to cover the yes, why they might be worth it. If you're Eddie Hall or these other Arnold Schwarzenegger, if these people have gotten rich, not directly from using anabolic steroids, but why the answer might be yes. And also I'm going to talk about why no, they're not worth it. And that's my personal opinion. But let's get into this, guys. And for wherever you're watching in the world, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're from, somewhere besides the US, I get people commenting from Finland or the UK or wherever you're watching. Tell us your country in the comments. Let's keep going. So, are anabolic steroids worth it? Here's why you might say yes. And the answer is it depends, right? But why might it be yes? Fame, wealth, and power, and this ties in with our second point. You have an advantage. There is a clear-cut advantage in terms of physical, as in physical looks, appearance, how you look, your personality, and also strength, physical strength. If you look at any of these guys, famous powerlifters, strongmen, people who have set the people have set the world records in powerlifting and even in Olympic weightlifting, and also if we're talking about world record strongmen, so powerlifting, world's strongest man, and also, some Olympic lifters. Guess what? In terms of just physical raw strength, all these world champions, they're taking tons of anabolic steroids. Okay, that's the period honest truth. Okay, and I don't want to just pick out Eddie Hall, but he's a perfect example because not only does he bust his butt in the gym and training, not only is he genetically gifted, right, but also he lives in Britain, in the UK, where anabolic steroids are completely legal. Okay, just like Benadryl in the US. Okay, so obviously guys like him and other people, they're smashing anabolics. Does that mean they've attained wealth, fame, and power and world records because of anabolics? No. Anabolics alone? No, of course not. But I guarantee you they would not be, I guarantee you, 100% certain, if they hadn't taken the anabolic steroids, they would not have fame, wealth, and power. And that not just Eddie Hall, but all these other guys. What's his name? Hather, Jorgensen or whatever, Thor. All these people, whether it's world's strongest man, whether it's world famous powerlifters that have squatted the most in the world, even Franco Columbu and other people that are lifting cars and stuff like that. And let's talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger for a second. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he says, oh, anabolic steroids are terrible, don't use them, this and that and whatever else. And, my opinion is actually the same as Arnold in the sense that, no, you shouldn't use anabolics because I'm going to talk about the no and why you might not want to, why you shouldn't do it regardless of legality. But Arnold Schwarzenegger can't really talk. Why? Because he got wealth, fame, power, and he succeeded, through his blatant tons and tons of use of anabolic steroids. So, he's saying it's not worth it, but the thing is that he never would have been rich, famous, or wealth, at least to the extent he is and was, without anabolic steroids. So the thing is that if you're Arnold, Eddie, all these people, guess what? More likely, yeah, are anabolic steroids worth it for them? They would probably say yes. I can't speak for them, but that. And obviously a lot of these guys, even today in present time, they can't talk about anabolic steroids. Why? Because they'll get their sponsorships pulled. No, they're protein company, they're this, they're that. Even like, Hall and these other people where it's legal and they're taking tons of it. They can't talk about it because in their country, they'll get, even if it's illegal in their country, they'll get dropped, from their promoters and their sponsorships in the States or what have you, okay? Okay, I'm ranting, but this is the truth of the matter, okay? So these people would say yes. Let's keep going. Another reason it might be a yes would be attitude, mood, and drive. What am I talking about? Your attitude's different when you're on anabolics. If you're taking, and this is coming from somebody who, I once had a script for, I'll just say, large amounts of testosterone. Not now, I just do regular, testosterone and HGH replacement to the top of the normal range as part of my HRT, my TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, right? HRT if I'm including HGH replacement. But let me tell you this, at the top of the range, of the testosterone range, you have an advantage over other males in terms of what? Attitude, mood, drive, etc. You're going to be more confident, you're going to have more energy to get things done in your life, and you're ultimately just going to feel better. Now, anabolics, if people are taking tons of testosterone, that's going to be amplified much worse, but you could argue that it would be a negative at some point. Why? Because then, testosterone, if you go crazy out of the normal range, you're going to be reckless, and that's not, okay, that can be good in a certain sense, but it's not in terms of making good long-term decisions. But that can be argued. Let's move on to the last point, why it might be yes. Regular work. I've talked to and I've known people that, and I don't advise this, but people leaning on testosterone or anabolics just because they have a really physically demanding job, okay? People, taking a bunch of tests, pushing themselves up to 2,000, and whatever, pushing themselves out of the normal range just because they have a really hard, physically demanding job. Maybe they're doing, one of these hard warehouse jobs or factory jobs. Yeah, I know somebody, I can't say his name because he's on social media, but he takes testosterone even when he's not doing bodybuilding, or I think he's retired now, but he takes testosterone not to feel good, not for training or bodybuilding, but he takes testosterone more than what you need for TRT because he's got a really hard physical job. And that makes him able to do his job and also do it better. This is the key. He also and he's a hard worker regardless, but he can do his job. He can do his job better than other guys and get paid more than other guys because he also gets paid not just hourly, but also what is it called? You get paid extra bonus commission by how fast you work. Well, guess what? He can make more money. Part of the reason he can make more money and work harder than these other guys is because he's taking anabolics. So even in a really physical job, you have an advantage. And this is the truth of the matter, guys, with why it might be a yes, it's worth it about anabolic steroids, forgetting legality in whatever country you live in, or if you live in the US and you got a script, right? Let's talk about the no real quick. Let's talk about why it's not worth it to take anabolic steroids, and this is my opinion, okay? So whether you respect my opinion or not, at least hear me out and make your own decision. You're an adult. So let's get right into this. So why might it be a no? Biggest thing is this, HWT I have written on the board. What is HWT? You already know if you follow my content, my videos. HWT stands for what? Heart wall thickening. Heart wall thickening. If you take anabolic steroids, I'm talking about if you shoot out of the normal range of testosterone or whatever anabolics, right? You exceed your range, top of the range for the top. I'll put it this way. I have seen males, more than one, okay? There's been more than one males I've come across whose blood work, they clock in at 1,400 total testosterone or higher, okay? But put it this way, I've never seen anybody have a natural testosterone level who's healthy higher than 1,500, okay? So I'm talking about you exceed that cap, which, you know, the male genetics. You exceed that, you go above TRT. What can be considered TRT? I'll just say it here. Above 1,500 is no longer, can never be considered what? Testosterone replacement. Having said that, guys, and for those that don't know, if you're a healthy 18-year-old with good genetics, you should be clocking in at 1,200, period, as long as you're sleeping and you're eating correctly. Okay, so people know. Okay, forget, you know, I can't tell you how much blood work I've looked at, but that's the period truth. Okay? All right, anyways. So why might it be a no? Heart wall thickening. You go out of that range, guess what? You're going to thicken your heart. And I'm not talking about the muscle. I'm talking about the actual, well, the muscle, but also the tissue surrounding your heart will thicken. And the thicker you make your heart wall, okay, I'm not talking about the size of the heart. I'm talking about the wall around the heart. The thicker you make the heart wall, especially the left ventricle in particular, guess what happens? You no longer can pump out as much blood each beat, and this is what kills bodybuilders and kills people on anabolic steroids, and this is why one of the biggest reasons they have heart attacks. So this is one and this is something that I suffered from. Again, I live in the US. When I had a script for high amounts of testosterone, I'm not going to name how much that was, but when I had a script for pharmaceutical stuff from the pharmacy for high amounts of testosterone, and guys, this is a different clinic, by the way, duh. But when I did that, guess what? I got heart wall thickening. I got some heart wall thickening and started having heart dysfunction. And when I dropped down and now I just do regular TRT to the top of the range, guess what? It's gone. All right? So I'm thankful I'm still here. Okay? Praise God for that. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Second reason. And this, you know, we're not talking about stupid stuff like, oh, I got some acne or I might get gyno or blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is preventable, and we won't even get into that. That's so minor. I'm talking about the two big reasons why you don't want to take anabolics, okay? And this is, unfortunately, these are the reasons these are the things people don't talk about. You want to see, you know, if you've got issues, you want to check your arteries for a bunch of plaque, go get a CT calcium test, okay? You want to check your heart to see if you've got some heart problems, some heart wall thickening like I had. Go to your doctor and say, I need an echocardiogram because I'm being stupid and this is what I'm doing. Echocardiogram and CT calcium scan, okay? All right, and tell your doctor what you're doing, all right? By the way, no matter what country you live in. Okay, plaque buildup in your arteries, period. How much testosterone you take, guess what, is directly related to how much plaque you build up in your arteries. Why? They used to, you know, we used to think, okay, because cholesterol increases, but that's might only be part of the truth. The main reason this might happen is why? Blood pressure. The two things that damage arteries in the first place. The two things that damage your arteries in the first place so that cholesterol can stick to them is what? High blood sugar. This is why you should not eat sugar if you're healthy or diabetic. Number two, blood pressure. So blood sugar, anytime your blood sugar goes up to a high level, this can be, if I drink a can of soda, guess what? My blood sugar shoots way up, even though I'm healthy because it takes time to lower it. So the two things that damage, and this is proven, okay, we're just waiting for this to go mainstream, but the two things that damage your arteries so that your cholesterol will actually stick to them, if you have healthy arteries, it doesn't even really matter what your cholesterol is, okay? And that can be argued that can be argued. I already covered all this in my book, Super Male. Go on Amazon, buy that if you want everything, nutrition, training, hormones. Having said that, the two things that damage your arteries so plaque will actually stick to it is what? High blood pressure and high blood sugar. Guess what testosterone does? It increases your blood pressure whole day, 24/7. The only way you can lower your blood pressure safely, easily, is with melatonin. But we'll get into that in a different video, and also doing things like hot tubbing and making sure you do your cardio. But regardless, the two things you can't get away with if you use anabolic steroids, heart wall thickening and plaque buildup. And that's why I personally, guys, no amount of money and no amount of anything, why, in my opinion, it's not worth it to use anabolic steroids, regardless of legality or what country you live in. Okay? All right. Guys, thanks for sticking with me. Again, I'm Seth Spartan, nutrition, training, hormone expert, boom, for Prometheus HRT. And if you guys like the content, give it a thumbs up. And if you live in the US and you want the best testosterone replacement clinic or HGH replacement clinic, Prometheus HRT is your go-to. But I will warn you, if you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to get what you need, okay? Guys, stay safe, stay healthy. We're out of here. Listen to what I'm saying, okay?